very topical issue, one that would definitely interest you. All right. It is on youth, ethics, and values, the untapped power for national renewal. That's what we're looking at on the show this afternoon. So I'd quickly introduce our guest, Ugo Joseph from Generation for Societal Change. Good to have you in the studios this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome again.
And Holy Ray, yes.
You're welcome.
All right, and remember that this is an audience participatory program. As much as we love to have conversations, with ourselves, between ourselves rather, right here in the studios, we would love you to also share your thoughts. Yeah. All right, so you can take advantage of the studio numbers now. They are 09073530044 or 09087668888. You can send a voice note or a message as we go conversational on the WhatsApp portal number, and that is 09097054450. Okay, so Ugo, you're welcome. Welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, so when we talk about the future of any nation, one word comes to mind: the youth. They are often seen as the leaders of tomorrow, but I hear the narrative is changing. It's now the leaders of today, no longer the leaders of tomorrow.
That's right.
So young people, all right. Okay. All right. I didn't see that coming. But then their energy, their creativity and vision are already shaping our societies, our politics, our economies, and our culture. But the big question here would be, what happens when this powerful energy is not guided by ethics and values? All right. So I'd like you to start the conversation, first of all, by telling us as to why, you believe so much in the power of the youth and why it is important for the youth to stay united at all times.
Thank you so much, Efe. It's good to see you again.
Same here.
Right. When we talk about the youth, it stands as a symbol for change in the general sense. All of us know in the world today that change is something that is a must, whether we accept it or not, whether for good or for bad. And change is also the consequence of some actions, whether good or bad as well. So as the years roll by, people get old, people get weak. You won't be able to do the things you used to do when you were much younger. And as all of that happens, there's an introduction of a new set of individuals into society, which is where the youth come in. So the youth are the future of our parents, the older persons who have been here long before us. They are also an extension of a dream that had already started over the years. So it is important that they are not just some abstract entity that just came out of nowhere and wanted to take over the world and rule the world. No, they are like a continuation of a system that has already been laid down. And if you want to change, if as a young person that is the youth, you see that the system that yourself and re-strategize as to how to move your own generation, it's a different forward.
At the youth on their own should have an idea on how to move forward without the guidance of maybe their parents.
It is almost impossible we cannot displace the place of the power of experience. Experience saves you time, resources, and the years, of course. So if young people do not have to what didn't work, what worked, which characters or which values they impose that are very important in this age and time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I believe.
In our society, do actually, it bothers and centers around the youth being ready to take, over. Now, when we say take over, no one is trying to advocate for a coup.
Of course not.
Would you really define the present day Nigerian youth in terms of creativity, innovation?
When you look at, you step into the social media space and you see the incredible work that young persons are doing.
Right.
And then and then you understand that even though they do not have access to some of the best resources, but you see that, wow, these people are doing so much, they improvise and they are doing so much, and you get to appreciate the mind, the refusal to just sit back and watch and come innovative. And if given an environment, because honestly, over the years, the country is going through quite a rough patch for different reasons that I don't want to get into. But these are enough to make people give up. But you see, the average Nigerian youth is striving, trying, pushing against the odds, and it is very inspiring to know that there is still so much resilience and such spirit, lion spirit, that exists. And so it is, in a way, it's both a blessing and a curse, because when you are forcing yourself to swim against a system that is almost impossible to support your dreams, as it was in the time of our fathers, where certain things were in place. I learned one time that there were meal tickets persons in universities were getting, and I'm like, well, we never have anything like that right now. I'm talking about the 60s, 70s and all of that. But yet, without some of those privileges and opportunities, you see the average Nigerian youth doing so much. And yes, it is very important that this is where ethics and values come in. So with all of that energy, with all of that strength and spirit and vigor and resilience, if it is not channeled and used properly, it can be as destructive.
And I was actually surrounded by a number of youth. So one of them was trying to justify this act of vandalism, amongst Nigerian youth. And according to him, they are not properly engaged by the government. By that, I mean they are not employed, and even if there are social investment programs, they really don't benefit from it. So what do you expect of an average Nigerian infrastructure? And I was forced to really, indulge him. He should be way older than I am, but he's still a youth. And then I said, bros, do you realize that if we all decide to vandalize public infrastructure because we feel there is a system that is really not in tune with our belief system as Nigerian youth, do you not fear that at the end of the day, we might still have to be the ones at the receiving end, the youth?
Exactly.
Because whether you like it or not, within the political space at the moment, even though we've seen they're still the ones, in power.
Right.
Definitely.
All right. So we're still going to be at the receiving end. And the monies that will be used to, rehabilitate this public infrastructure is still going to be taxpayers' monies.
Exactly.
So we're still paying, and we're still complaining that, the taxes are just too much and all of that. Do you know, it was almost kind of exhausting trying to help him unlearn, and just drop that mindset he was carrying at the time. So I would like to speak to the idea of, being principled as a Nigerian youth. The place of honesty.
Right.
The place of, loyalty and patriotism.
Right.
Because all of these actually seem to be missing, whether we like it or not.
It's thank you so much, Efe. The thing is, having that conversation with this gentleman, he has probably not looked at it that way, because he feels that he's angry, and let's just use him as a case point to other young persons elsewhere who are doing the same thing. They feel like the government isn't doing so much, isn't meeting their basic needs. But I as much as I agree that the government has fallen short in a lot of ways, I do not believe that we should throw the weight of our entire being on the government. Who is the government? Abraham Lincoln gave us the definition of what a government is, and government is basically we are the government to a very large extent. What we have up there, representatives, people who, because over 200 million of us cannot all sit in Nassau Villa and make decisions. So we send people who are representatives, and we know they've fallen short, but there are times when we have to sit down, strategize, and plan for what the kind of future we want. When you go around, for example, destroying public infrastructure, let's say the roads or the street lights, who does that light give? Who does that street light provide light to and for at the end of the day? It's you, the average road user, and it calls for us to sit back and reevaluate our action. Which is why I say the average Nigerian person is highly spirited, very creative, very smart, energetic. It is who we are, is the identity of being a young person, which is why we must have a system that would help us channel energy, that structure, that spirit to towards a good cause, and the lack of it is what will lead to the destruction.
So you think we don't have a system, that somewhat encourages the youth to channel that spirit of resilience, into doing the right thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we do not have a system like that.
Okay. Please, I'd like you to hold your thoughts. Okay. Let's go pay some bills. When we return, we'll take conversation just from that point.
Right.
Where you think that we don't have a system that actually encourages the youth, to channel that energy, that resilience. I mean, take a look at the hashtag NSAS protest the other time. The energy was out of this world.
It was shocking.
And shortly after that encounter, elections were actually conducted. How many Nigerian youth really came out to support one of us? Because again, we are divided along party lines.
Yeah, you're even taking it too far,
So
Ife.
let's go pay the bills.
When we come back, we'll talk more about it.
We'll continue the conversation. Do stay with us.
Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll Africa's one-year diploma in certified nursing assistance training happening at the African University College. Graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015, 080-339-42015. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this ad.
Yeah, that one my own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
3 Abuja.
Eagles FM Ember Month promo. Eagles FM ta zo muku da labari mai daɗi a wannan wata na Ember. Eagles FM na baku wata dama ƙara samun nasara na Eagles FM Ember promo. Ka biya na tallace-tallace 10 za mu baka ƙarin 3 kyauta domin ka tallata kasuwancinka. Hakika 10 ka biya 3 kyauta. A Eagles FM muna kula da nasararka a wannan shekara. Shi yasa muka kawo muku wannan dama don ƙara haske kuma da ka ƙara riba a wannan watanni na Ember. Kada ka jira, ka kama wannan dama ka bunkasa kasuwancinka. Kuma ka sa duniya ta ji sunanka ko sunan kasuwancinka da Eagles FM Ember Months promo. Ana iya samu mu a 0811-338-0604 wato 0811-338-0604. Mu yi nasara tare a wannan shiri. Wannan tan yana nan daga rana ta 1 a watan Satumba zuwa ga rana na 31 a watan Disamba na 2025. Eagles 102.3 FM, tashar rediyo da zaka iya dogaro da ita.
Are you ready for this?
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
All right, welcome back from that break. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is the National Core Values Program live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And on the show this afternoon, we are looking at the place of youth, ethics and values, and the untapped power for national renewal. We've got our guests still very much in the studios. Ugo Joseph from Generation for Societal Change, and together we've been having this conversation. But again, remember that you can be part of the conversation by calling us on any of the studio numbers or sending a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp, number as to what you make of this conversation. Tell us, as a Nigerian youth who is listening, as one that is actually young at heart. You're probably not a youth, but you are young at heart. Too. You probably have a thing or two to say about the attitude of Nigerian youth. And your own assessment of Nigerian youth in terms of, taking the bull by the horn. And please don't get it twisted when I say taking the bull by the horn. All right. So we'd like to hear from you what your thoughts are. And if you have reservations, please feel free to express them. You can also decide to stay anonymous. It is equally fine. 09073530044 or
09087668888.
Send that voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number already on 09097054450. And for those watching us live on YouTube and Facebook, where this conversation is being streamed at the moment, you can as well leave a comment. And you know what? It gladdens our heart anytime we see your comments, on these pages.
The socials, yeah.
All right. So, Joseph, before we went on that break, you actually said something that is a bit mind-boggling when you say that we don't have a system, that encourages the youth to channel the energy that they have, the resilience and everything into doing,
change.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact speaks for itself when we talk about that. In reference to that, statement I made earlier, we look at the Nigerian system structure aside the academic, part of it, where a child goes to the school, goes to primary, secondary school. If you can afford to go get a university education, you go to the university, and then you get into the NYSC program. But what happens to those who stopped at secondary school? What happens to those who took up vocational skills along the way? What system of mentorship do we have when we talk about young people? You mentioned sometime just earlier on the call, it is not just a young people conversation, because we are talking about, it's like passing the baton. So the generation before us, they play as much role as as the young person is playing right now. So what are you transferring? What are you giving? What mentorship? I don't even know. We don't have that much mentorship system that is in place to mentor the average Nigerian youth. We don't have such a system. I'm talking about, in secondary schools, we have different governmental agencies and parastatals. What stops us from having a structure that says during your summer education program, you are going to be the same internship program that some other people do have, which is, some do it in their third year or fourth year in university. They also ask them to go on 6 months internship.
Right.
Now, we should have a system like that early enough. I'm talking about SS1, SS2, SS3. Let these persons see what the big... Just send them to a particular office. It could just be bit by bit, take turns. I'm not saying the whole class, but give a young chap, an idea of what future is possible early enough, so they have something to hold on to, something to look towards. And in that moment, let's say you as a secondary school child, you have like an internship program or a direct mentorship program in the office of the Minister of Works, for instance. It fuels something within you. And let's say you come from a family that is not so buoyant. In that moment, you've seen what is possible if you had certain opportunities.
Right.
You've seen that you've given a chance to dream, and that is enough fuel to drive change. That is enough fuel to pursue, that can help you pursue your goals. It could make you study harder. It could strengthen your resolve to your academics, to pursuing your dreams. It could make you read. Maybe a child is not even very serious in class. He goes on this internship and sees that, if I do well in school, I could be here tomorrow. But from the family where I come from, we don't have certain resources, we don't have certain things. It gives you something to look forward to.
Right.
It gives you a dream, something to feel hunger, desire to pursue something. So what systems do we have in place to help young people dream? We don't have that. We just go to school, and then those who have gone to school, there are no jobs.
Okay, so what happens to you being innovative? And let me also ask you, were you privileged to attend some sort of mentorship class on your own? And maybe that's why you have, the capacity,
this much knowledge that you
to
have.
make this kind of, decision to be patriotic as a Nigerian youth.
Talking about myself, firstly, I had, interestingly, I went to a public school here in the FCT, and then in my school, there were, at the time, some NGOs or some projects that private individuals were doing at the time. So they picked some of us from our classes, and then during the summer we had internships. That was the first time I went to AIT.
Oh, wow.
I saw, okay, so the news that we sit at home, the Kakaki show, all of those things, the NTAs, everything, I saw how it was produced. And I was a chap. I loved writing, I loved stories, and I could read anything I was not someone you could keep a secret from. As long as it is written in black and white, I know what it is. Now, as early as that time was, I saw what it meant to have what being excellent can do, what hard work can give to you. I had the opportunity to be an intern there. I also had opportunity, but I would say I was lucky, because most of these projects were individual based. Right now, those individuals are not running such systems anymore, because different factors will play out, and maybe they are not able to sustain those things. I had articles written, and the whole nationally, I think I came second runner up. It gave, and that was the first time I went to Transcorp. I saw what it looked like. Where I was coming from, I didn't have access to such things.
Okay, so how well have you given back to the society?
This is it.
This is it?
And it doesn't end here.
Okay.
Right? So as early as those years, I started working at the Generation for Societal Change in order to sensitize and teach young persons like myself. I started as a peer educator. I'm saying that right from SS2, I was already standing on the assembly ground telling my fellow young schools to school, primary, secondary schools, and I was speaking to young people. I would even teach, after I graduated from secondary school, I would teach literature in English, because I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was
to keep the brain going. Okay, now you also talked about we don't have a good system, to enhance the youth to be able to think out of the box and know how to be useful for themselves. We'd also say that your parents also have a part to play in this.
Yes.
Was there a push from them?
Yeah, so let me just bring it back to, it's a very hurtful memory if I want to talk about it. So I had an opportunity in those years to do something, and because of the kind of understanding or family background or the people around me had, they denied me what I would have, what I don't know what I like. If I look into the future, I don't know where I would have been by now. But they denied me something that was highly sought after, just because they didn't know better. I understand the place to protect our young people, protect them from getting into the wrong hands and all of that. But if a parent does not give consent, for example, that their child should be doing internship or somewhere, or should go somewhere and all of that, that child will not go, and they will watch their mates become certain things in life, and you see that this child will grow up to resent you. I harbored a lot of anger and bitterness in my heart for a while, and it had to take me my spiritual journey and maturity, generally, to let go and understand that these people did not do these things because they didn't like me or they hated me. It was the much they knew, and it was how they knew to love, which is why it is as much of an adult, like the passing generation's work, as it is the young person's. So you should allow, don't box. You are not very expressive. You learn to keep everything together, but it does something to that child, whether we agree with this or not. I have a child, or there is a child 17, 14 years old like me in the other part of the world, China, the US, Europe, and they are allowed to explore. And these people are the people who I will compete with tomorrow. So if I don't have a ground that is firmly rooted.
So you feel African parents being too overprotective is also slowing down the energy of the youth?
Yes, it slows down and it hampers growth and development. It also affects the future of a nation, because if we raise people who are bold, audacious, have the zeal or have the leverage, they have the freedom to pump who they are, who the entire of their being in what they are doing early enough, the changes they will make in the world will be felt here first before the rest of the world catches the light.
Okay, but African parents will tell you the more loose or long the rope is, the more, I don't want to use that word on radio,
again,
the child will become.
Again.
So an African parent always just want to keep the rope close and keep the child close. Now, if all of that you feel is affecting how the child react and also expose he or himself to knowledge that will help him to be someone that is innovative in the future, then what exactly do you now think that the African parents are supposed to be doing at the moment to curb that issue?
I think they should compromise.
Okay.
Shielding someone from the truth doesn't make the truth not the truth, right?
Right.
So I understand that exposition to certain knowledge early enough can be injurious,
to jeopardize
it can do much harm to them. But I feel that when you are armed with the truth, and you have someone to steer you towards the right direction, that is what differentiates you from someone who just has access to information without any sense of direction. So as much as you want to protect them, from young people, from certain things, remember that a day will come and you won't have that much hold on them. A day will come, they will meet someone who will tell them something and they will know something and you don't know. So what system do you put? So is it not better that you tell them, this is a phone, this is what a phone is used for, and this is what this phone can do, this is the much power. Let the child wonder at the power of this technology, than going out there, someone introduces them to the phone and shows them the wrong things to do with this phone. So in the place, so I understand that we want to be protective, but we should be able to compromise, because the world, you cannot change, we cannot move forward as a people if you don't make room for adjustments. The generations they were in and the ones we are in right now, I mean, in their time, we didn't have this. What is going on in the world? I cannot pick my phone and I call someone in the UK like that, just like that. It wasn't there in their time. It took someone from another part of the world to come up with an idea. Like, so what would be wrong if a Nigerian birthed an idea like this? Put us on the map. So yes, let us allow ourselves to explore.
I totally agree with you. Recently, I saw a lady on social media that was lamenting how her parents are the reason she is the way she is and who she is today, because of that knowledge and idea that was put in her that you don't have to be close to any man. Once you're close to a man, you are going to get pregnant. So you don't have to let a man even come close at all. And that has kept her to be a woman of virtue, you know what I mean, till her 35th years. And now she's having a problem. Because
it's a personal problem. But also it could also have affected her relationship with people at work, her relationship with herself towards chasing goals and dreams, and some even misinterpretation of certain things. So I still feel that war, battle for relevance, for importance, for a place in the world, the sky can accommodate everyone they see, but how many of us are willing to take flight? So if you don't have the resources, you won't get to the sky. And so let us remember that if we do not give our young people, I'm talking about parents, our elder senior citizens and other statespersons, if we do not give the young persons the resources they need to become what you are, what you became in your time, successful as you are, ultimately it's been a waste.
Tapping into this power you're talking about would actually bring about a very detailed form of education, and this is not necessarily classroom education, right? However, we all are gearing up for the forthcoming general elections. I know 2027 is still, far away, but in the eyes of politicians, I know 2027 is still, far away, but in the eyes of politicians, 2027 is next year.
It's next year.
Or even next
it's
month.
Around the corner.
All right. So, what can we do, or what must we do, if you like to put it that way, at this point in time? I mean, we must have to start from somewhere, as opposed to having these conversations, on radio, or you taking it out to the streets.
Right.
A more practical approach to ensuring that we make that step today. What do you think it should be?
It is, I think that we should start with having good examples as leaders, right? Currently, as a leader, as a senior citizen, as a minister of that, a politician or a head, it's not just about politician. So, I'm talking about a professor in the university. It just, at that point, you can inspire a young person in your lecture room to look at you and be mesmerized at what excellence can look like, what these values of integrity can where it can take you to. And the truth is, whether we appreciate these values in Nigeria, I'm talking about integrity, transparency, honesty, and the rest of them, whether we accept or embrace them here, it is a global thing. It stands you out in the world. I'm not just talking about in your locality. So yes, if a person gets into a public office dishonorably, they will act dishonorably, and their own and that will be out in the open for the world to see. And so I think that the best way to teach is by experience. But my uncle used to tell me something: experience is expensive. Many people may never recover from it. And that is, and I thought that to be quite profound. As a young person, you pick up quotes and it's like, experience is the best teacher. And he just told me one day, it is too expensive.
That's it.
Don't wait for it to happen to you before you fix. Learn from others.
Right.
So the best way to teach the young person, I believe, right now in Nigeria, is take them through history, take them through what they are living in right now. The country they are living in, they are not proud of it, because of certain, wrong turns, certain things that were not done right, and all of that. It just continues like that. Remind them that it is like, this country is like this because this is what was not done, and tell them that this is what you need to do it right. Then those who are doing the right thing should reach out to young people. Because I don't want to say everyone, all our senior citizens got it wrong. No. If we got it wrong, we won't even be here. So there are people who have been doing the right things. Reach out to young people. Draw them closer into mentorship. Let them see firsthand. Let them watch you do what you do. Let the record of others like you be an inspiration to drive change. When we talked about the NSAS situation, and I just remembered it. Someone said something, at least I heard a few days ago on social media, and she said the outcome of that movement, put out a lot of light in young people. It killed a lot of hope that the young people had in this country, because it started like a joke, the NSAS protest. But then it took the world by surprise. Like, it became so big, and even I believe that even the powers that be in this country did not expect it to be that that for address on some of the things that did not go right, and a lot of people lost faith in this country from that time.
Joseph, I'm sorry to abort you because time is not our friend. I would like you to, in a minute or two, if you can, just expatiate more on why we need to stay united, because whatever outcome we had from that NSAS protest, the credit can be attributed to the youth, the ones who came out in their numbers, to protest,
the ones who lost their lives,
the ones who lost their lives, the ones who were also paid to sabotage the process. It was still the youth.
Yes.
So I think the crux of the matter here today would be the essence and the place of unity. So just picture that in a minute, 30 seconds because of time.
All right, thank you so much. I feel that when you are united, this analogy that I used to hear growing up, it is easier to break when you hold a broom, and you try to bend the whole thing, it will not break. But if you pull out just one or two or three or four or five and you bend it, they break.
Yeah.
And this is just what I want to push out there, that if we do not work together as a team, it will be easier to put out the fire that we carry and the strength. We can't do much in isolation. Pointing back to that NSAS situation and all of that, I think that we were more united than we were divided then. Trust me, because if we were, you would agree with me that across different states, regions, it was shocking that young people came out in mass.
Yes.
So the people who, sabotaged or jeopardized the process and all of that, they were just a few. And that is just what a few can do to something that powerful, that big. And which is why I'm putting it out there to every young person that if you think about the future where your family will live in, your children will live in, where you will live in, and you think that it is right for you to settle for the gratification that comes now, that will not even sustain you for the next political term,
right,
you should think again. Everybody has had a taste. In this country right now, it is no longer a thing for the rich and the poor. Both the rich and the poor, everyone is feeling the heat. So I want to implore every young person listening out there that when you see a movement that is steer towards the right cause, lend your voice, lend your resources, lend your support and expertise. If it is to teach people to do it the right way so that it gives you the right outcome, if it is to say the right things, everybody works together as a family, and like a broom, you only sweep out the trash and you cannot be broken.
That's it.
I will take that as your last words or parting words on the show today, right? And as much as you are admonishing the youth and the listener out there that if there is some sort of, movement that is targeted or channeled, towards bringing about the positive change that we all are clamoring for, we should wholeheartedly be part of it. I think it's also important to put a clause to it that you must first of all understand, the vision, of that movement, so you don't move blindly.
Yes.
So to the listener on the other side of the radio, whether you're young or old, this is not just a youth conversation, it's a national one. And to the young, the question we'll be leaving you with today on the show would be, what values, actually guides your daily choices? And to add to it, to the older generation, to the old at heart, what ethical lessons are you passing down to the younger generation? Because at the end of the day, a nation is only as strong as the values of its youth. If we want renewal, true national renewal, then we must invest in ethics and values as much as we invest in infrastructure and policies.
That's it.
Ugo Joseph, it's always a pleasure having you in the studio.
Yes,
It's a pleasure always. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. And to those